You know that pile of scrap metal you sometimes see outside a factory? What if I told you that isn't just waste, that it's actually the key to a much smarter, more sustainable economy? Today, we're going to dig into how one company is turning what looks like trash into treasure, and what that means for all of us. Let's dive in.
So let's start with a really fundamental question. We see factories all over the place, right? But have you ever stopped to think about where all their leftovers go? You know, the offcuts, the scraps. For most of us, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. We probably just assume it ends up in a landfill somewhere. But what if that's a massive, massive missed opportunity?
And that's really the big idea we're exploring today. The crucial point here is that what we call waste is often just a failure of imagination. In the right hands, these discarded materials aren't an endpoint at all. Nope, they're actually the starting point for something brand new. They are, quite literally, a resource in disguise.
Okay, so first things first, let's really unpack the problem. This whole take, make, waste model. For centuries, industry has followed this simple but deeply flawed script. You take resources from the earth, you make a product, and then you just throw away whatever's left over.
The big flaw in this take, make, waste system? It's just so inefficient. We're pulling all these finite resources out of the ground, only to turn around and bury them again in landfills. This doesn't just pollute our planet, it also completely wastes all the energy and materials that went into the process in the first place. There has to be a smarter way to do things.
And the good news is there is. So let's pivot from the problem to a real-world solution. We're going to look at a company that's right on the front lines of this change. We're zooming in on a regional player in northern India called Mittal Enterprises, a business built entirely on flipping this old linear model on its head.
I mean, their motto pretty much says it all. All kinds of industrial scrap, eco-friendly recycling. It's simple, it's direct, and it's really powerful. They're not just in the business of hauling away trash, they're in the business of redefining what trash even is. This isn't just a slogan, it's their entire business model.
So let's get a little more specific. Mittal Enterprises operates across 4 states in northern India. Their entire business is designed to intercept industrial waste before it can even get to a landfill, and then process it into materials that can be used all over again. Their mission is crystal clear: cut down on landfill use, save energy, and conserve our planet's precious raw materials.
So what exactly is industrial scrap? Because it's not just a few rusty pipes. The range of materials is absolutely vast, and that's where the real opportunity is hiding. Let's take a closer look.
Just take a look at the variety on this slide. It is incredible. We're talking about everything from copper cables and steel drums to all these different grades of plastic and even old motors. This isn't just a list, it's like a treasure map of recoverable resources. It just goes to show that with the right process, almost nothing is truly waste.
But you know, just collecting all this material, that's only the first step. Doing it responsibly is what really, really matters. Mittal Enterprises operates on a really clear set of principles, so let's break them down.
They've boiled it down into 4 key steps. First up, an environment-first approach, which means thinking about the ecological impact is always priority number 1. Second, transparent and fair pricing. This builds trust and actually encourages industries to get on board. Third, safe and licensed handling, absolutely crucial for protecting both workers and the environment. And finally, quick and efficient service, which just makes it easy for businesses to do the right thing. It's basically a blueprint for a system that actually works.
Okay, so we've seen what one company does and how they do it. Now, let's zoom out and connect these actions to the bigger picture. Why does turning scrap into a resource matter for all of us? This is where we get to talk about the circular economy.
Simply put, the circular economy flips that whole take-make-waste model right on its head. As you can see here, it's all about creating a closed loop. So instead of a one-way trip to the landfill, materials are constantly being reused, repaired, and recycled, keeping them in circulation for as long as humanly possible.
And one of the biggest impacts here is on energy consumption. Creating a product from raw virgin materials is incredibly energy intensive, but as this comparison shows, using recycled materials drastically cuts down on that energy use. For example, making an aluminum can from recycled aluminum uses 95% less energy than making one from scratch. Those savings have a real, tangible impact on our carbon footprint.
The benefits just create this powerful ripple effect. Companies like Mittal Enterprises don't just reduce landfill waste, they actually decrease the need for mining, they slash energy consumption, and they create real economic value for materials that were previously seen as worthless. It's a holistic system where environmental responsibility and economic prosperity really do go hand in hand.
And that brings us to our final thought. We've looked at one company in one region, but I want to leave you with this question. Imagine scaling this up. What would our world look like if every single industry in every single country stopped seeing waste as the end of the line and instead saw it for what it truly is, the beginning of the next cycle?